Panchapandava Mandapam, the silent epic of Mamallapuram. Mamallapuram is not just a port city. It is a confluence of art, culture, and trade of the Pallava Empire. In ancient historical records and the hymns of Vaishnav Alvars, this great city is praised as Kadal Malari or Mamallan. The Chinese traveler Xuanzang, in his travelogue, admired the greatness of Kanchipuram, the capital of the Pallava Empire that stretched from the Krishna River in the north to Madurai in the south. His notes make us realize the prosperity and artistic passion of the Pallava country. Mamallapuram served not only as a port for the great cities of that era, but also as a vast canvas for the artistic passions of the Pallava kings. In particular, the credit for making this city one of the wonders of the world goes to Narasimhavarman I. He did not establish his fame with the tip of a sword. Instead, with the tip of a sculptor's chisel, he inscribed the glory of his empire on rock. Mamallapuram is, in fact, the stony embodiment of the artistic dreams of that great king. From the victory of Bhakti to the love of art, Narasimhavarman I was a great warrior. He took on the title Mamallan due to his extraordinary skill in wrestling. To avenge the battlefield defeat of his father, Mahendravarman I, he defeated the western Chalukya king, Pulkesin II, in the Battle of Bhakti and sacked his capital, Bhakti. With his great victory, he also earned the heroic title Bhakti Koa Narsiga Potrayar. Mamallan understood that while a king's fame might last through a war, a civilization's legacy would live on through art. He adopted the art of carving monolithic temples from his father, Mahendravarman I. Mahendravarman I was known for his innovation in creating rock-cut caves without using materials like brick, wood, or stucco. Mamallan, however, took his father's artistic tradition to a new peak. He was the first king to create monolithic temples like the Panchapandavar, which were carved out of a single rock. To express both his heroism and his religious devotion, he transformed into an artist who brought rocks to life. This Panchapandava Mandapam is located in Mamallapuram, Kanchipuram district, Tamil Nadu. Researchers believe that this monumental work of art was created by Narasimhavarman I, also known as Mamallan. However, some historical evidence and current information suggest that this temple may have been started during the reign of his grandson, Panchapandavar I. Regardless of which king's dream it was, its unfinished state speaks to us of the profound silence of time. At about 15 meters, 50 feet in length, it is the longest of the rock-cut caves in Mamallapuram. Its lion-yali pillars and unfinished forms are its special features. This mapam was included as one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the year 1984. A poem carved in stone. This mapam, which holds a unique place among the works of art in Mamallapuram, was carved out of a single massive rock. This sets it apart from other rock-cut caves in Mamallapuram. The entrance to the mapam faces east. As it is located near Arjuna's penance, it is possible that this area was once planned as part of an integrated artistic complex. A close examination of the interior structure of the mapam reveals that its immense length was designed for a specific purpose. Researchers believe that a circumambulatory passage, similar to those found in later temples, was planned around the sanctum of this mapam. However, this plan was never completed. The second row of pillars and the octagonal chamber behind them highlight the unfinished state of this profound work of art. The unfinished state, an artist's silence. Like many other works of art in Mamallapuram, the Panchapandava Mandapam was left unfinished. The unfinished state of a work of art should not be seen as a flaw in its beauty, but as a document that reveals the artist's dreams, his challenges, and the changes of historical events. Mamallan's reign ended in 668 AD. His death may have left these monumental creations incomplete. The short reigns of his successors, Mahendravarman II, 668 to 670 AD, and Panchapandavar I, 670 to 700 AD, might not have provided enough time to focus on artistic creations. Furthermore, the evolution of Pallav architecture might also be a significant reason. Rajasimha, Narasimhavarman II, 700 to 728 AD, who came after Mamallan, showed interest in creating structural temples, which were completely different from rock-cut caves. The Kalasnath temple in Kanchipuram and the shore temple in Mamallapuram are excellent examples of this shift in tradition. Due to this change, the unfinished rock-cut caves may have been abandoned. Some researchers point to a natural fissure that occurred in the Arjuna's penance sculpture group as the reason for the abandonment of the sculptural work. The Panchapandava Mandapam may have faced a similar natural challenge. Whatever the reason, this unfinished state tells us a deeper history and a silent longing than a completed work of art. It proclaims the dreams of the Pallav artists and the glory of their abandoned plans. Art raised on the shoulders of lions, the structure of the pillars. The pillars at the entrance of the Panchapandava Mandapam are a distinctive feature of Pallav architecture. The base of these pillars is magnificently carved with lion-like yali figures. The yali is a mythical creature with the body of a lion and the face of various other animals. It is believed in Hindu mythology to be stronger than both a lion and an elephant. At the front of this rock-cut cave, there are 6 lion-yali pillars and 2 pilasters on either side. These yalis are not just decorative sculptures, they hold a symbolic meaning. In later periods, kings like the Cholas, Pandyas, and Nayaks used the yali as a primary decorative and protective symbol on their temple pillars and on the mounts used for processions of the Utsava Murti, processional deities. The fact that yalis were majestically seated at the base of the pillars during Mamallan's time tells us that this rare art form was a magnificent starting point for the temple art tradition of South India. How it got its name? The background of a historical puzzle. Although this mapam is called the Panchapandava Mandapam, it has no direct connection to the Panchapandavas from the Mahabharata. Other important monolithic temples in Mamallapuram, the Panchapandava Rathas, are named after Draupadi, Arjuna, Bhima, Dharmaraja, and Nakula Sahadev. These rathas and rock-cut caves were carved from a large rock. There is no historical evidence that these names existed during the Pallav period. However, since this mapam and the 5 rathas are located close to each other, the local people connected them to the familiar characters of the Mahabharata and wove stories around them. Over time, these oral stories became very popular, and the mapam came to be known as the Panchapandava Mandapam and the rathas as the Panchapandava Rathas. This is an excellent example of how oral traditions and myths blend with historical facts to create a new identity. During this period, there was a rise of the Bhakti movement and a revival of Hinduism. The Vaishnavalvas and Saiva Nayanmars attracted people with their devotional songs. Building temples for deities like Vishnu and Shiva and carving their stories in sculptures gained importance. The fact that sculptures of Vishnu's avatars were planned to be carved in the Panchapandava Mandapam confirms the close connection between this art and the Bhakti movement. The best artisans, called Vishwakarma Sthapatis, contributed greatly to this rock-cut art, the glory of stone and the memory of time. Although the Panchapandava Mandapam appears to be an unfinished work of art, it reflects Mamallan's monumental dreams and the ultimate efforts of Pallava art. It is a historical document. A story is buried in every one of its pillars. It is a testament to a heroic king's attempt to sculpt the victories he won with the tip of his sword into an epic with the tip of his chisel. This mapam, through its silence, makes us aware of many pages of history. It tells us about the evolution of an art tradition and the beauty of an unfinished dream. The majesty of its unfinished state reminds us of a history deeper than that of completed works of art, as well as the artist's labor and his dreams. Even amidst the challenges of time, this silent epic proclaims the glory of Pallav sculpture. The Panchapandava Mandapam is not just a rock-cut cave. It is a chapter of time frozen in stone. To see more of our posts about Pallav kings and their monumental works of art, please subscribe to encourage us and watch our playlists. Thank you.